Good evening, Gun Nuts. How are you this lovely evening? Welcome to the Georgia Shooting Connection Friday night live stream. I'm the host with the least, Nathan. We're going to be talking a little bit tonight about bullet casting, our techniques, procedures, tips, so on and so forth. It's been a pretty good week for me personally. We've had some challenges, I think, in the community. And we'll get to that here in a sec, but let's go ahead and go around the horn here and talk with our panel members. Go ahead if you want to, Gene.
Hey guys, man, it's always good to be with all y'all on Friday nights, and I miss it when we're not on the Friday night when we have the Reloaders Network chat. But man, I think that break every month gives us you miss it just enough till you can't wait to get back and do it some more. So I think that's a good thing, and I'm just glad everybody's here with us tonight. We've already got 10 on, and we just flipped the switch. So thank everybody for being here.
Absolutely, and thank your beard for being here as well. It's glorious.
Thanks, man. I'm working on it.
So say hi, Kyle. If you
I guess I do that a little too much. Hey guys, good to see everybody. Live chat's popping. That's good. Like Jamie said, glad to be here. We really enjoy doing this every Friday night. As long as y'all keep coming, we'll keep doing it.
Absolutely. We got Chico, but he's muted right now. He's taking care of some household stuff, but he'll be right with us. We've sent invites to a couple other of our Georgia members. We'll see if we got them coming in a little bit later. I'd love to be able to hear from the pastor something about some of his casting techniques now that he's got his new RCBS Fancy Pants pot. That would be awesome. I don't know if Rob Amuser does casting. I don't think so, but, maybe you have some cool questions. But anyway, so I want to start it off just kind of we've talked about him and I have talked about this a little bit, I think, and he's definitely mentioned it in his videos, but Big Al didn't want a big ordeal over it, but I don't think he's doing all that well. So I just kind of wanted to kind of give a little bit of shout out to him, and maybe if we want to do a little prayer before we kind of get started here. I don't know if we want to wait for Chico to get back on, but let's just go ahead and go for that now if you want to.
Sure, let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Dear Heavenly Father, please look after our compatriot Big Al as he goes through this challenging time. Please look after his family as they try to help him through this process, and lay your healing hand upon him. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 I'm a quick prayer, especially if I'm doing it in front of people. So we got a few people here in the side chat. I'd like to give a quick shout out here. Thomas Pickering, thanks for coming out. Uncle Jim, of course, love seeing it. I'm looking forward to the Tat Chat. I don't know what I've got going on, but if I don't have anything going on, I'm going to have to pick up some washable Crayolas myself. Oh, we got Ozark Spirit, Floyd Hicks. Glad to see you. Fuzzy Fork 8, Big Man Outdoors. Crazy Scotsman was on early and is still on. So, guys, I appreciate everybody coming out. Like I said, we've got quite a few viewers, more than what we have here. Hey, Big Al, glad to see you, brother. I hope things are going all right and going better and getting better every day. So, Ozark says he's having a little bit of trouble with his tattoo. You got to get help with that one, brother. You got to get a little bit of help. So, Kyle, what you got going on, brother? What's been going on this week besides traffic? Unless you wanted to sit here and just talk about traffic. I know you guys from Atlanta need to complain about that and vent it out.
It has been a disaster. Yesterday, a car hauler, big truck, caught on fire going northbound, and part of the bridge over a river fell into the river going southbound. So all 6 lanes of I-75 are running right through my little bitty small town, red light hell. so nobody can move anywhere. It took me an hour and a half to drive 22 miles. It was great. But other than that, work's going good. We're covered up, which is a good thing. Everybody's got plenty to do. I'm actually a little bit on the excited side. I got a real short work week next week. I'm only working Monday and Tuesday. Then I'm going down to the shooting property to meet up with the two legends of YouTube, Tack and Brenda from AOK Foraging and Adventures. We've decided to hook up and have a camp out. So I'm going to take a couple of days off work, and we're going to spend about 5 days together.
That sounds like a darn good time, doesn't it?
Well, we hope so. We're going to try to do a little coyote hunting, do a little scouting for some wild hog, a lot of fishing, a lot of grilling. Matter of fact, tomorrow me and my son are going to make some bratwurst sausage, take down there. It's going to be a good time.
Did you see the Ozark and Preacher coyote hunt escapade?
Oh, yeah, that was great.
That was hilarious. I'm like, I as soon as he missed, I'm like, here comes the excuses. He's like, well, hey, my sticks weren't level. I was trying to, and I'm like, yeah,
The best one I've seen them do, though, by far, is hunting the unicorn rut.
Oh, that was just ridiculously funny.
Unicorn tarsal gland.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. That's I totally agree, Thomas. That's yeah, I'm a quick one.
Yeah, Thomas, you notice he didn't let me do the prayer this time. He did it himself because in CMA they don't let me say grace anymore because the food's already cold. I think I need to work on my relationship with the Lord, so on the times that I do decide I need to speak to Him, it don't take so long.
I keep a constant dialogue
out that I want to give is Bigger Behind the Triggers out in the chat too.
Yeah. Yeah, and Bigger, get better, brother. Let us know what's going on. Keep us up to date, man. Yeah. So, Jamie, what do you got going on, brother? What's been happening this week?
I made 2 purchases. I bought y'all know for a 38 Special and 357 Magnum, I use RCBS dies. And I have to come back and reset the bullet seating die to do the crimp. Guess what?
Not no more.
I got a Lee factory carbide die. Carbide factory crimp die for 38 Special, 357 Mag, and 357 Max. So I'm going to put that on my turret. I'll have all 4 of those filled up. And for my 35 Remington, I got another powder. Like I need another powder for 35 Remington. I got this Shooter's World Buffalo rifle. And it's got load data. I can't even read it. 3855, 4565, 4570. So if the pastor ain't got here yet, has he? So he's looking for some powder for 4570. That might be worth trying out. And I don't know if y'all can see that price tag. $20.
That's pretty daggum good.
So if it'll work, man, and I'm telling you, Kyle will vouch for it too. That Shooter's World heavy pistol and Magnum type pistol cartridges is just nice.
Oh, it's great. It's my new favorite powder. I can't believe you went up there without inviting me.
Without what?
Inviting me.
Oh, it wasn't a planned thing, man. I just happened to be up there, and I said, well, I'm going by North Georgia while I'm up here.
Well, good for you, buddy.
But the guy that I was talking to about, he was wanting us to kind of promote some of their product on our YouTube channels, and he was talking about sponsoring the Reloaders Network. Well, they canned him. He ain't there no more. So I struck up another talk with the new guy that's managing the store, and his name's Mutt, and obviously he's a biker. So
His brother Jeff, how's he doing?
I was just thinking the same thing.
I don't know, but the next time I talk to him, I'll ask him. So I'm kind of hoping that that'll work out to where we can get them. I mean, where would you rather, if you owned a reloading store, where would you most like to advertise? It seems like a no-brainer to me.
Yeah.
But they do a lot of gun shows, so they're traveling around all over the. I mean, they're out there where in Arkansas, I think the preacher and Ozark saw North Georgia Reloading out at I think what is that big one out there, Oklahoma City or somewhere like that. Maybe they'll pop up and say something about it. So we're already up to 25 watching. Guys, thank you for coming by.
Yeah, it's pretty doggone impressive. So Chico, man, what is going on?
Oh, it's been cold. Y'all know I don't like the cold. I know it's been cold for all around the United States. So I've been just doing my every weekly thing, you know. But I got to be honest, I haven't got any reloading done. What I did, I sorted all my wheel weights, what I had. And I said, man, I got to get on this. So what I'm going to do now is, I think I need to go back on the hunt for more wheel weights. Because you can never have enough lead, you know. So I need to revisit that scrapyard that I visit the first time. So
the one
I
you
just
ripped
been
off?
chilling. Nah, the guy gave me the bucket. Remember the very first one when I had the sticks? Yeah. The other one, I may go back there too.
See how this works.
Yeah, we'll see how that works. But I was after you go through all your wheel weights, sort them out, you look and you're like, well, that really ain't a lot. So that's been it for me, man. I've been thinking about doing some casting, but it's been a little cold, and I don't like the cold. So, but I'm happy to be here, man. Thanks for having me, like always, guys.
Absolutely. Well, it hasn't been all that cold down here. I mean, some of the mornings it's been a little bit chilly, but by the middle of the day, it's feeling good. I've been enjoying that. I got some cases prepped. I think I'm going to sell some on eBay. Try to get a couple dollars together to offset some expenses. I haven't done much. I think we're going to go shooting tomorrow, I think is the plan. I don't know, hopefully. But yeah, I had a good week at work. I got some meetings done that needed to get done, and yeah, how that goes. Moved my presses around a little bit to kind of get a new feel for the layout, and I'm not quite liking it. I've got something coming in the mail. I was hoping it was going to be here today, but it looks like it's not, and it's going to be maybe a new edition. I don't know. We'll see when it gets here. So it's blue, so we'll see.
Oh, he's drinking Kool-Aid.
Maybe I might actually be drinking a piece of the Kool-Aid. I don't know. Yeah. So we'll see. I'm wanting to. I've been after one for a long time, and yeah. So
that's cool, man.
Yeah, especially after you go out and get that. You just start with everybody's dream press, and then you just on the side just pick up one of those scraggly 550s.
Man, you know what? My buddy, he said, look, man, I ain't forgot. I said, man, you better. I said, I got people want to buy this thing. He was like, well, hold up. I already gave you more than half the money. I said, yeah. I said, you lucky, because if you wouldn't have gave me more than half the money, I would have sold that thing. But he said, man, I'm coming, man. But he was like, I'm going to need you to show me how to do it. So I was like, okay. Which, now that I think about it, I was like, I wouldn't mind having both of them, the 550 and the 650, because we was on Uncle Jim's chat, and I know they was talking about how the 550 it's more supported. So the case, like on my 650, the case is supported by the shell plate.
Mm-hmm.
But the 550 is not. So who was that who told me? I forget who it was.
That sounds like something
Tread.
Say, but
Tread. It was Tread, yeah.
Okay.
So but you know, sometimes you see that stuff, and so I gotta be honest. I've been looking at cans all week. I've been looking at cans, and I'm just like, oh man, do I want to pay a $200 tax stamp? I know Uncle Jim's out in the chat. He's probably like, yeah, do it. But I don't know how that would work being the government shut down. I was reading somewhere that it would take forever. So I was like, let me wait. So I'm just looking for the deals. You guys know that.
Well, Logan said something about putting in for his tax stamp, I think in February, hoping that he'll be able to get it by November or some shit. I mean,
Right.
it's crazy, and I think waiting's just gonna make it probably worse.
Right. So
We need
I'm
the
gonna
person
eventually
to
do
get
that.
all 33,000 emails in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I got a buddy. He was interested in that Maxim 9.
Mhm.
I said, man, I think that thing got a tax stamp on it. He was like, are you sure? Because the big gun store here, man, not too far from me, they got it for like $800. I said, that's $800 plus $200 tax stamp, plus you got to wait on it. So I was like, and I told him, I said, if it was me, I'd just buy a suppressor that would fit majority of my firearms. And you know what I mean? If I like them like that, I'll buy more. So he was like, man, you killed my dream, man. I was like, I'm telling you the truth, brother. $200 tax stamp on it.
So Big Al asked a question about what we've seen at SHOT Show that we thought was interesting or that we might want. I've seen a lot of the pictures. I've seen a lot of stuff from Bacon, and I haven't seen much from West Desert Shooter or and stuff yet. So I don't think they've really uploaded a lot of their content. I know that there's a whole bunch of other guys there too, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they got. But right now, I'm kind of liking the size of that Lyman case trimmer. I mean, big surprise. I'm liking something from Lyman. I didn't like the looks of the King Cobras and stuff. I was like, I don't know. This seems like that's way, way, way high. Some of the stuff from Rossi, I like the idea of that they're kind of limiting the amount of options, which means they might do a better job with what they're putting out. And there's a couple things I saw that I thought were squeaky. That I thought were pretty cool. What about you guys? You see anything yet?
I've seen nothing from Rossi, but I'm wanting to. The one thing that's got my attention, and y'all know I'm a 35 caliber nut, is that Winchester 350 Legend cartridge. We've been talking about it on the comments on YouTube some, and I think it's going to be. I think it's interesting that you can take a 223 shell case, widen it out, and stick a 38 special round 357 Magnum bullet in it. And at first, I didn't see the purpose. And then the more I thought about it, the more I like it. But I'm definitely interested in seeing something from what Rossi's got going on.
Okay, I think we need Aunt Bethany to find out who's making that squeaking sound.
It's impressive. There's a mouse in somebody's pocket.
Bring out the WD-40.
I'm working on some brass. I'm sorry. I'll stop.
What's that funny squeaking sound?
Nice. Well done.
Hey, 'tis the season, brother.
Oh man, the blessing. Oh, good grief.
Grace, she's been dead since 1932. I love it.
You're a dump truck in a nitroglycerin plant. Yeah, I've got most of that movie memorized.
You know, I've seen some stuff on SHOT Show, but you know what? I haven't been watching it on YouTube. I've been watching it on a lot of guys. I've been on West Desert's IG. Do y'all know what that is?
IG?
I knew you wouldn't know. I knew you wouldn't know what it was. It's Instagram.
Oh, well.
Yeah, see, I knew everybody's like, oh, what is Chico using acronyms? Yeah. So when somebody says IG, that's Instagram. But I've been on West Desert Shooters and some of the other guys. That's probably where you guys can see most of the stuff because, as you know, uploading video, it takes time. You got to edit. Instagram, you just you can do a 60-second video, like almost like live, but a lot of pictures. And I looked at that Lyman trimmer too, but I went on their site and looked at that. Looked pretty slick, Nathan.
It
That
does.
Lyman trimmer. So not
Eagle
showing
Eye
the
said
price.
something about that he said, is it Forster or is it Frankfurt Arsenal that's making that powder measure? I don't know. I thought that was Frankfurt Arsenal. I don't know. I might be wrong, but I saw that I think it was Bacon put something about that.
That Lyman Brassmith, as far as just if you're going to have 50 pistol, rifle, whatever casings, and you're going to put the same powder charge in all of them, dink, 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 dink. I mean, that thing's slick, man.
Yeah. I didn't see the Frankfurt Jewel trim. I mean, I wasn't paying attention to it, which is entirely plausible. I have a habit of not paying attention to things half the time, especially being that, like, I know I try not to do this, but I watch a lot of videos in the morning, and I'm all groggy headed anyway. So I wake up and I get my breakfast and my cup of coffee. Doesn't always go well. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Any other questions, concerns, interests?
Was which I didn't see any, but I didn't really search. Are there any new modes coming out that maybe possibly appeared at SHOT Show? Maybe? No?
I saw something about, and I mean, I kind of knew this before, and I don't know maybe if they're doing something that Redding basically makes Seiko molds. I don't know if that's kind of a newer thing. I think I knew that from before, but I don't know. That seems like one of those information that I may have had or may not, or may have just thought that I had.
I'd like to see Lee do some different stuff, like I'm sure a lot of other people would. Some different type of bullets without all the loop grooves.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, man. I completely agree. I would love to see an entire line of modern coding, design bullets. I'd love to see an entire line of them. And honestly, I know this sounds probably pretty ridiculous. I know there's some cast bullet shooters that might get upset at this. I'd want them to be 1,000ths or so undersized.
So you can powder coat.
Yeah, so you don't have to size 3,000ths off of them.
Yeah.
I know the high tech guys. I think they're getting 1,000ths. Powder coat, I'm getting 2 to sometimes a little bit even more. But I don't know. I mean, if you're going for undersized, I mean, Lyman makes molds, but they're 2 at a time. Unless I guess you can. I don't even know. Is Lyman still making 4 cavity molds, or are they just making 2? I don't know. I know they used to make 4 cavities. Oh. Plastic ducks. Yeah, I don't have a duck up today. I need to do that. Lee cast 45 molds, 200 grain semi-wide cutter, brother. The bevel base one. Love it, love it, love it. Used to drive me nuts, man, when I was traditionally lubing, because I'd have to clean the lube off of that bevel base. It used to, but the thing cast perfect. My gun loves them. Love that round. Oh, that bullet.
Now I've got one that Jamie sent me.
Big Al's ducking out, so I want to say goodnight to him, I guess. I didn't see where he said he was leaving, but yep. Okay.
See you, Big Al.
Yeah.
What is this one right here? This is I think they call it a 2R. That's a 45. Can y'all see it? Jamie, I think you made these. Then you cast these? It's flat base, but
yes.
I think I shot a few of those. They shot pretty nice. It's I think it's a 2R because I got a 9mm like that also.
Yeah,
I don't have any Lee 45 mode. Sorry.
Well, I've got that one. I've got my 255 grain. I've got a big boy mold from them. I don't remember which one it is, but I've got a big boy 45 mold from them.
I have a 228 grain 1R 45 mold.
I got the 230 Tumbleweed, which is, of course, is not what I grabbed.
So AR says that they are autocorrect. That they are making the 4 cavity mold still. I wasn't 100% sure that they were, because I know that some people are. That's a pretty bullet. Talk.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was trying to do it so y'all can see it better. So Jamie cast these, and I shot at least 10 of them, and I like them. But I just wish they do something without the loop grooves, like a lot of you guys probably would too.
Yeah. I mean, NOE does, and I can get my molds through them, and I try to get all my molds through them if I can anyway.
That's a 101 grain 9mm bullet. I like.
Yeah. It was a low one. Yeah, that's right.
I would love to make a smooth side bullet. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's what we got to have. We got to have Lee making some smooth-sided bullets.
And to me, my opinion about that is, I've heard so many people talk about it. It ain't like they're gonna be out of it. It's gonna sell. Because I don't even know how long these other ones that they've have been in production, like forever. But they will sell them. I'm sure they will. I don't know.
I think mainly right now they just want to get you for that extra money to make a custom mold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that. They seem to be, I don't want to say slow to develop new molds, but I mean, if you look at Ranch Dog and some of those other guys, I mean, it seems like Lee doesn't want to make new molds or new mold designs unless, or at least offer them as a primary in stock item, unless it's their idea. All those micro groove, bullets, that was their idea, so they put out a bunch of those right quick.
And that was to help promote selling the A-locks.
Yep. Armored Axe has asked about the best powder coating for bullets. Eastwood or powder by the pound is my take on it. Ooh, my dog just let one go. It's going to be terrible. Those are the two that I know of that work really well. I have used Harbor Freight pretty successfully, but I think sometimes if I was gonna, your first time doing it, I would go with Eastwood powder, and I would go with like the Ford Light Blue, or I think Kawasaki Green's another one. Like some of those ones that are like proven to work really, really easy. Because there are some powders that don't work all that well. Jamie ran into one of those a while back.
I've run into a couple of them, but I have found that if you can mix them up, the light blue, the hunter green, the zombie green, I think what do they call that? Lime green. And the violet. Tim found the violet, and that is beautiful. That stuff coats great.
Yeah, that's what I have for Cap Guns bullets.
I would stick with something like that with Eastwood. I'm not familiar with powder by the pound. I've got plenty of Harbor Freight red and white. Never went with the black or the yellow, but the red works. You just got to play with it. The Eastwood just does it. You're pouring it out of the thing and it's jumping onto the bullets before it's going into the tub. It just wants to be there.
I've had really good luck with the Eastwood powders as well. The ones that I got two blues, the Ford Light Blue, the Ford Dark Blue, and the one that I really like is Mirror Green. And I've got some bullets over there. I'll go get them in a minute and show y'all. But the Mirror Green coats real well, and it's pretty.
New York City Reloader loves that stuff too. It works really good.
Yeah, well, he uses powder by the pound, and I'm using the Eastwood. but they look the same to me.
Kingpin, that is a topic that's right in my heart. Your first press. Good luck, brother. Get on the Reloaders Network. You can find a lot of information on there, depending on what you want to do and how exactly you want to kit it out. And that's that's a big deal, man. It's a lot of fun getting your first press. You can go full on crazy like Chico, or you can go with like a little Lee C press for like $50. A lot of options, man. Or you can go with one of those Forster coaxes because you got to be fancy and you got to have your cufflinks when you reload. I'm sure there's coax owners be like, man, what the hell? I didn't deserve that.
Oh, I got a little fancy swag in the mail from our good friend, Mr. Scott over at Insight Freedom.
I did too, man. That was awesome of him.
That was cool.
He gives you stickers.
Yeah, he sent me some stickers and magnet.
Cool. It took until Christmas for you to send me a magnet. Known each other for a year.
I didn't have your damn address.
I'm low priority, man.
Here we go.
Well, I guess now's about as good a time as any to get started and kind of talking about our topic-ish if we want to.
Can you see that one, Nathan?
Yes, sir.
That's a pretty bullet. That's the mirror green. And that's I'm gonna be sending Willie some of these. These are 401 175 truncated cones. So yeah, I like the mirror green. And I cast those with a 6-cavity Lee mold. I just wish they would get, I may be crazy, but I've been thinking about getting a drill bit and drilling some of those grooves out of those molds. Is that insane, crazy talk?
Look, here, if I was going to do it, what I would do is I'd make sure that you got a drill press that didn't have a hell of a lot of in play, in the chuck, and I'd block it up into a good drill press vise and do it. I mean, there's a bunch of people that did. It's not that big a deal. And just if you want to do it just in 2 holes, just do it in 2 holes. See how it turns out.
Well, I would start with a 2-cavity mold.
Oh yeah, because it's only $20. Yeah. Right. Yeah, absolutely. Kingpin says he's been taking notes. I hope you've been taking notes from what other people said. Not me, man. That could be bad news. Hey, here's the one advice I would give anybody. 243 Outdoors can outshoot me pretty much so with his eyes closed in a gale force wind, where he reloads all of his ammo, and he does it on a Lee Challenger press. So, yeah, don't let people try to tell you got to use a $5,000 press to get the job done.
I found myself loading more on this little 4-hole Lee turret that I got behind me. I don't even know if I can see it. Yeah, right there. Then my 550. My 550 is sitting over there in the floor on this little perch, and I haven't used it in a long time. I'm about to, because I've got to make a bunch of 308 rounds for this next coming up week. I'm gonna be a busy reloader for the next 4 days. I'm probably gonna load 1,000 rounds of 9mm, probably 200, maybe 300 rounds of 308. Gonna have to load some 30-06. Gonna have to load some 44 mag. It's gonna be busy. I'm gonna be depleting my stock of primers and powder and bullets and all that stuff. But hey, as long as you cast, you can always make more.
And you're not really going to be making any mistakes. Just throw them back and put them through the pot again.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a mistake when you're casting. You just put it back in the pot.
It's all learning experience.
The only mistake you can make is knocking over the pot, which I don't really see anybody knocking over a 20-pound pot. You got to really work for that.
Yeah. So Kingpin's about to get into reloading. I'll tell you something right away that you're going to learn on your own, and you don't need me to tell you this. But brass prep sucks.
Yeah, disposable. That's a great question. I'm just going to show you something right quick. See if you can find some of this somewhere. That Shooter's World heavy pistol, I have fallen in love with it on 44 Magnum. It is awesome. It's accurate and it doesn't beat your elbows off.
The recoil of your 44 seems to be pretty legendary. My 44 loads, I got two different loads, one for plinking and the other for full house, and it's 240 grain semi-wad cutter, the Lee one, not the Keith one, and a Mesa 2400 or a pinch of Unique. You know, if I'm gonna do a full house load, I do a bunch of 2400, and if I'm gonna do my planking, it's gonna be Unique.
Oh, and somebody made a very good point up there. Ozark said, "Don't throw a wet hollow point back in the pot." And yes, that is a very good point. Never throw a wet anything into a pot of lead.
Yeah. There's that doesn't go well. That really doesn't go well.
So
yeah, too.
do any one of you gentlemen on the panel, which I kind of know the answer, but I still do any of y'all own hollow point modes?
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I think I seen that one, Kyle, I was thinking about buying me one to get some variety, and I see is PC out there?
I haven't seen him yet.
I like a lot of those. I guess it's probably the design of the bullet. You know what I mean? Because some of them are, I don't want to say grooveless, but they have less grooves. Seem like they're a little bit easier to powder coat. I could be wrong. That's my rookiness, you know. But I was like,
well, hang on. I got some of these Elmer Keith's hollow points I can show you. They're right here.
Kingpin, yes, I do wear a mask when I cast.
This is there's the nomenclature on it. It's an NOE mold.
Mm-hmm.
It's even got Elmer Keith on the back. Well, glare. It's even got Elmer Keith on the back of it. And it is making these gorgeous. I mean, they're standard Keith design bullets.
Nice.
There's a whole different technique to casting these.
Yeah, that's what I've been studying on.
You know, everybody's always keep your mold hot, keep your mold hot. Once it gets hot, keep it in the happy zone. The problem with a hollow point mold that I've found is you get in the same rhythm as you normally do. That doesn't work. The hollow point end of the bullet down here will it'll fracture off if you try to drop the bullets too quickly. I went through a lot of lead, and like we said earlier, there's no mistakes. I just put everything back in the pot for next time. You have to get it hot, and then you cast it, and then grab a Lee 6 cavity mold and make you some 45 bullets or 9mm or something like that about 2 times, and then cut the sprue and drop the bullets, and they won't fracture. I mean, they were splitting, mushrooming, doing all kinds of freaky stuff, man. It was weird.
Pretty cool.
I've got after getting a hollow point mold and testing on it, I've kind of come to a new opinion on it. That it's mostly unnecessary for what I do.
The planking and stuff.
It's not just planking. If I'm gonna make a hunting load, I'm just gonna do it around flat. The hollow point's just not overly needed. I mean, because I use big ass bullets usually anyway. It's going to do enough damage to do whatever I want it to do. Our deer down here aren't much bigger than dog here. That's just not, if I'm going to shoot elk, maybe I'd be interested in it, but and I wouldn't use my cast for self-defense.
Right.
I'm
No,
using
bad,
it
no.
for punching paper targets. I'm using it for punching steel. And if I go hunting with it, I'm most likely using a 45 cal, usually a 45 Colt or, I don't know, something else like that. I just don't. The only bullet, if I had it to do over again, the only bullet that I would worry about having a hollow point would be a 358, 158 Keith style bullet for 357 and stuff like that. That would be the only one I would be interested in. And you really do have to tin it. I tried to not tin my mix. It just doesn't work. You really do have to tin it to keep from fragmenting. So
I see Ozark Spirits out in the side chat and says, he said, that's the nice thing about an NOE mode, the hollow point mode. You can change the pins and make them a flat nose. And I was looking at that and I was like, I'm gonna have to ask about that. So
that's what I got.
And you just change the pins to make them flat or take them out or something or whatever. I don't know how that works.
All right, this is the bottom side of the mold, Chico.
Mm-hmm.
You see these screws right here, 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 and here? There's little pins. Those are pins.
Right.
The screws hold the plate to the mold.
Uh-huh.
I've got 3 different sized hollow points that I can cast. And then there's a flat pin that you put in there to give
You want to do the flat points?
Yeah, it just gives you a regular flat point like this one. Of course, it's in the same mold, but this is another NOE mold, but it's just gives you a flat base, flat point, just like that.
Yeah, Uncle Jim kind of seconded my big old bullet with a flat point on it. Yeah, it's going to do pretty much everything you want it to do usually, especially with lead. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sold on the extra pain. You know what I don't like about it, to be perfectly honest, why I don't like I like my hollow point mold, but why I don't like it is because it's actually kind of a pain to cast with because the mold guide situation. My RCBS has the rod type and it doesn't work real well. So I have to actually set up and run on the edge of a collar on one side as a mold guide, and it's kind of a pain, and it's annoying. Where if it had a flat bottom, I wouldn't have to deal with that. I know that's silly, but it's the small things, I think.
You know what? Can you guys hear me? I'm probably gonna hook up my mic because Armin and that says he can't hear me. But look, I gotta ask. When I was out at Kyle's, back when me, the Scotsman, and Jamie, we all met, I seen his molds were on the table, right? All his molds. And when I seen them, that they were looking like this, right? Do any of you other guys do this? Can y'all see that? It's like still got the screw on it, right? So I'm like, what are you doing, with that? And he was like, oh, I fill it up to keep stuff from getting in it. And I'm like, light bulb just goes off, right? I'm like, oh, yeah, makes sense. So I was wondering, I've been doing that. I bite your style, brother, because it made sense. You guys know I'm new to it, so I was just like, but as bad as I want to knock these 2 bullets out of here, because I know they're beautiful. That's the thing. This is my RCBS 2 cavity mode. If you guys, Tin Man does a lot of cast with this mode, and it's a Keith style bullet too. And that's for my 45, and I like it. It's a 201 grain or something like that, but it shoots pretty well. I just gotta still tune it to my particular firearm, but so I'm still learning.
Yeah, I don't leave mine full.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
I usually don't either.
I would say, Chico, with your situation, because your area where you're keeping your molds is not climate controlled, and you have steel molds, continue to do that.
Okay. And see, I was thinking like Uncle Jim saying, I didn't research it, but it made sense to like not getting trash in it, and I was just like, well, maybe I'll just keep it in a a tub, and I ain't got to worry about stuff getting in them. You know what I mean? But I was just like, I don't know. I just had to ask,
I
You
got
said because it's not climate controlled, Nathan.
yeah. Yep, because you got hot and cold in there. It gets hot
Yeah.
during the day and it gets cold at night or whatever, which
Yeah.
causes condensation, which causes those steel molds to just. I got these boxes and I don't know where I got them from, but I got them for nothing pretty much, and they're just enough of a height for a 2-cavity like an RCBS mold. I think this is the one that Tim got me. I think.
I don't really recall why I started doing that. It just seemed to me like it'd make a good idea to make it where no dirt or dust or anything could get in there. And the way that I start casting, they're warm by then anyway, and I run hot lead over the sprue plate. It just opens right up. I've already got 6 good bullets, and then I cast about 3 times, and then I can start keeping bullets.
Uncle Jim says oil, then remove oil before use. That's your technique, brother. That just adds a whole heck of a lot of time. Where that's where I like that idea for steel, because you just heat the mold up.
Yeah.
Mold
That's what
heats
I've been
up,
doing.
cut it, dump that, and then just go with it. I wouldn't bust them cold though, because you're liable to you could possibly shear the screw, because that's going to take a lot more effort. But
Now, Fuzzy's got a good idea right there. He puts Vaseline on his steel molds when he's done with them. That would work.
yeah, I mean, oil would work too. I just don't. It just adds that extra step of having to go and clean my molds, and I just don't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
No, that's terribly lazy.
I feel like you'd have to cast 47 times before you'd get a good bullet.
Yeah, I mean, when I was working out of my dad's metal building, I did that. I actually, I think I used Deep Creep or something, and I sprayed them down and then put them back in, because I think then I had Lyman mold boxes. I put them back in the Lyman mold box. It's just because I was in that metal building and you had to protect them. But in here in the house, I don't have too many problems with it at all.
Oh yeah, Uncle Jim, I can see the outside will rust without oil. Yeah, I totally got that with steel molds. Yeah, and bigger behind the trigger. I'm sorry you're being assaulted in the hospital, brother.
Really, I didn't see it. Dang nabbit.
I have this steel mold. It's one that I bought at an estate sale. I bought like 4 of them for I think it was $18 or $28, something like that. Anyway, it's pitted on the inside, and I'm thinking. I remember Charlie Brassstuffer doing a video on about how to get that out of there. He takes a cast bullet and pretty much takes the sprue plate off of the mold and drives a screw into the base of the bullet and puts some polishing compound on the bullet, and then chucks the screw, cuts the head off of it, chucks it up in a drill, and then uses that polishing compound on that bullet, spins it around. I'm gonna have to do that with that particular mold.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just like lapping valves on a cylinder head. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't figure it'd take too long to cut it out.
Yeah, but you know it's going to be bigger diameter after that. So
Yeah, we've lapped out molds before to get to certain sizes because aluminum molds anyway. I've never tried to lap out of steel. Gee, many Christmas, that'll take forever.
yeah, it will take a while. There's been some interesting questions in the side chat. I think Armit Nax has asked you, Nathan, do you use any kind of a release agent or smoke in your molds? I know I don't.
I do sometimes. I do it when I don't use a release agent. I'll smoke my aluminum molds. I don't do my steels. So I smoke them when I go through the whole process when I get an aluminum mold. I go through the whole thing. I wash it, clean it real good. Then I heat cycle it several different times, like 3 times in the oven. And then when I pull it out, I smoke the good griefs out of it, and then I run it. I don't have to necessarily. I've had molds that I haven't smoked and they've been fine, but I found the ones that I have smoked tend to release a little bit better.
Yeah, but after you do that, you pretty much just fire them up and go after that.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely. I don't mess with it ever again, unless like something were to happen. But I haven't had to have that. Like if I had to wash it again, I probably would redo it, but I haven't. All of you in the same room. Yeah, man, Mig, I would love that too. I would love to have a reloading live chat with all of us in the same room. Someday.
Yeah, Chico read it too.
I appreciate everybody making sure that all of that blame just landed down here in South Georgia.
Of course it did, because we're only about 20 miles from each other.
I know. See, this is where having Rob around helps.
Chili dogs.
Oh, so yeah, okay. A little bit of casting technique. I have I've used a mini mag Lyman dip that's when I first started on, and there's actually still a couple molds that I still use that hand dipper pot with. The smaller the bullet, in my experience, the smaller the bullet and the bigger the mold. So like basically like a steel mold that's like a small bullet. I've had a very hard time getting good pours into them. I just have. So I'll dip those. The other pod that I use is an RCBS Pro Melt 20. It's the older one that doesn't have the fancy smancy PID and such. I run that. I found that there's the setting I think I run it shows around 740, 750, but I think it's running probably a little bit warmer than that. I found that works really well for most of everything that I cast. I checked it with a thermometer to make sure I wasn't going too hot. I knew I wasn't because it doesn't run like water. It poured well. And I tend to cast relatively quick. I don't quench my molds. I water quench when I want to, which is basically means that I have certain loads that are developed with water quench bullets. But because I powder coat, I rarely water quench new ones unless I think they're going to need it, which I don't think they will. So I haven't been water quenching a lot of my newer stuff that I've been doing. Trying to think of anything else. That Lyman pot, man, when it gets low, it gets hot. Like some of these pots, you cannot let them get below half because the temperature is going to run away on you. If it doesn't have a thermistor control, now I know a lot of the Lee pots, which is what most people do, it has a control, and they're not as bad. But some of those old dipping style pots don't have any control at all, and when they get low, they get ridiculously hot. So
They'll glow.
What's up, brother?
They will glow.
Yeah, absolutely. Which, I mean, hey, look, somebody asked Chico if he wears a mask. I'm not going to tell you what to do when it comes to safety equipment. I make sure, I try to have eye protection on. I definitely keep at least There's something going on in the Dirty South. I try to make sure I keep at least a glove on. And this is just plain casting. Now, if I'm going to smelt, it's like I'm in freaking mop gear. Because smelting is so dirty and shit's popping and you're doing it on a stove that doesn't have the temperature control. So, I mean, honestly, if you're going to smelt, I recommend most likely running an actual mask, not a dust mask, a real mask, and do it ventilated outdoors. But I don't wear a mask because I just don't. But I think it kind of depends on your operation and how you feel about it. Here's help keep your face safe. I guess. I don't know. I guess this could catch on fire. Jamie, that'd be a mess, wouldn't it? Woo-hoo-hoo. Boy. You've ever seen a cat catch on fire? I can't imagine what a beard would be like. Boy, that'd be a mess.
Yeah, it helps. One of the best things I've done with my casting stuff is when I built Charlie Brass Stuffer's mold oven. When I got those, Kyle and I both got some of those NOE molds about the same time, and they're so much thicker than the Lee. You know, with a Lee, you just take and stick it up in your melt, and in a few seconds, it's up to temperature and ready to go. But when you've got one of those NOE molds, they're so much more substantial. They're thicker, and they drain away the heat so much easier and better. It's almost impossible to overheat those things. So I got just an old electric eye, you know, what do you call them, a little hot plate, and an old saw blade from a circular saw, and a huge, one of those bigger steel coffee cans, and cut a little door out to put the molds in. And man, you leave them in there for about 20 minutes. By the time the alloy is melted in the pot, those molds are up to temperature. They're up about 400 degrees and ready to go. So you can get near perfect castings from Pour One, and that's one of the best things that I've done. And y'all check out his video on that if you want to see more about it. I did a video, I think it's called, what did I name that one? Anyway, I was casting bullets over in the basement, and it worked out really well. And back to a thing y'all said earlier about the lack of innovation for Lee molds. The only 223 bullet is still a 55 grainer from Lee, and we've all moved up past the 55 grain threshold on our 223 rounds. I would prefer a 65 grain, maybe with a little flat point on it. That would be ideal for doing the kind of coyote hunting we do around here. You can reach out there and knock them down at about 200 yards with that. Something like that would be really cool. If you can get the cast bullets to shoot out of an AR, that seems to be the trick.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I agree, man. And you know, if I can answer Kingpin, what I want to say about, because I'm still relatively new to reloading, cast, and everything, and Ozark said it first before I can even get it out. Kingpin, get you one of these, brother, if you think about casting. If you think about reloading, make sure you get some reloading manuals. And I read in these way before I cast it, but my very first casting video, I did it live on the live stream. But I watched a lot of these guys' videos. I watched Nathan, I watched Kyle, I watched Jamie. I was watching guys in the side chat, and I'm just watching. And I look like I heard somebody say, man, you done that before. But the second time, it was like a disaster. My first live stream was perfect. The second time, I was like, oh, I'm good. And I was having all kind of problems the second time. I don't know if my molds were seasoned, and they was like, nah, we're going to throw you for a loop. But I didn't have on the mask, but I was outside. It was in the summertime. The wind was blowing. But now, like Nathan said, when I smelt, I'm gloved up. I'm geared up. And even if I'm doing it with not a lot of ventilation, I still got like one of those window fans, and I have it blowing across me. So I'm trying to, you know, some people will say, no, you don't need that. But I'm like, hey, I'm trying to live as long as possible. So,
dude, I'm with you on that. When I cast, there's I've got two different ways. One, I've got a hood that I've got set up that I can pump stuff out from. And I also can put a box fan in the window because the pot sits right in front of a window. And I can open up that window, put the box fan blowing it right out. So whatever comes out of that pot goes right out the window.
Yeah, because that stuff can be pretty nasty.
Yeah.
And you got to think about it this way. When you're smelting, you're not really worried about lead because you're not going to get it that hot anyway. Because lead doesn't really start to fume off till about 980, I think.
But, Kyle, the problem with smelting is if you're doing that crap with a turkey fire, you can get that hot.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I understand that. When you're smelting, It's the paint fumes, the grease, the oil, all the stuff on whatever you're smelting, whether it be wheel weights or
Yeah.
whatever. It'll absorb something. Yeah, we did it outside, and it was pretty windy when Chico was over here, and there really wasn't a problem. If you can smell it and it stinks, get away from it.
Yeah.
But as far as just casting, you're not going to get that hot for lead to start gassing off. Sometimes I wear gloves when I'm sorting bullets and doing all that stuff, just because I don't want all the lead dust and stuff on my fingers. I'll wear gloves. As far as a respirator or something like that, I really don't do it. I wait till it's a fairly windy day and just light it off and stand upwind.
If you Kingpin asked about when you cut your sprue. For me, there's actually if you look at your sprue on your mold, it'll frost.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as it frosts, it's ready to cut. Do not cut it before then, because if you cut it before then, you'll pull a piece out of the base. And that's where you see all these ones that'll have dimples in them and stuff like that. That's what that's from. I don't know, man. It's funny because as far as the danger of lead poisoning, to me, in my opinion, which means nothing, you run more of a risk of getting lead poisoning collecting, sorting your lead than you do casting it. Like handling it by hand, it'll leach into your skin. And if you are trying to mine berms, screw around with an indoor range, even sometimes digging through wheel weight buckets, you're getting lead dust up in the air, and you breathe that stuff in, and that's bad news. You look at Steve, Fortune Cookie 45LC has some videos about that, where he was doubling down on his lead collection, and he ended up getting a mild case of lead poisoning and had to back away from stuff for a while.
If you do start smelting down lead, collecting lead, casting lead, and all that stuff, it's highly recommended. Just go by the doctor's office. They'll draw a little bitty vial of blood and just check you for lead levels. I have my doctor do it. I have to go there every 6 months because I'm on blood pressure medication. He does it every 6 months. It's always come back null and void, even though I play with a lot of lead.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when I'm sorting wheel weights and stuff, yeah, I wear some rubber gloves and stuff. Don't ever take the bucket and turn it upside down and just dump it out, because that's going to be bad.
Yeah.
But just picking them up, and yeah, that's zinc, that's lead, that's steel, that junk lead, junk lead.
The other one
create that much dust.
What surprises me with Fortune Cookie is I know one of the things that Fortune Cookie is not. If you are a smoker, you run a much higher risk of getting lead poisoning when you're messing with lead, because you can't keep your hands out of your mouth. So you're sitting there messing with lead, and you got it on your hands, and then you light up a cigarette, and you've transferred it to the cigarette and in your mouth. That is a quick way to
do it. You don't smoke a cigarette while you're sorting lead. You sort lead, take the gloves off.
Man, when I was smoking, you couldn't stop me from smoking when I was doing anything. Up underneath the car, there's a butt in my mouth. It doesn't matter. But yeah, smoking will get that too. Smoking will do that. Eating, I've seen people do that, and yeah.
Hey, I got this box right here. We're talking about making ingots, and you was talking about how hot a turkey fryer can get. These are stick-on wheel weights. And I've got these set aside to go to a friend that I'm going to be sending these to, along with a muzzle loading mold. I'm not calling any names, but
I know.
I
got to help you with that.
I don't even have a muzzle loader, Jamie.
If I ever win the lottery, I'm going to buy me some friends. No, man, y'all are in my heart for forever. No kidding. But I will say this: these are the stick-on wheel weights. And when I was making these, when I was smelting those down, the lead was actually boiling.
Mm-hmm.
And so with a turkey fryer, yes, you can get it hot enough to vapor off. But these are, I was expecting a lot less when I did these. These are running about 11 BHN. And for a muzzle loader, I think you want those kind of as soft as you can get them, but that's as soft as I can get them. So,
And those were stick-ons?
Stick-ons.
Yeah, stick-ons are usually closer to pure lead. I think they've got a little bit of tin in them to make them a little bit extra pliable, but
yeah, well, maybe I need to keep a few of them.
Yeah, I seen somebody had one of the X-ray machines. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They X-rayed their stick-ons. It's on like the cast bullet form, and they was doing stick-ons. They was doing clip-on wheel weights, and I think the stick-ons came back at like 98 or 99% with like a 0.5% tin and like another 0.3% arsenic or something like that, or antimony.
mhm.
So it was pretty interesting about the stick-on weights, stick-on wheel weights.
They turned out to be a lot harder than I was anticipating. That's one of the reasons they ain't already been out in the mail. I gotta do some soul searching about that and what to do for that hardness. I don't know, but I think it'll be fine. I mean, it ain't like you're gonna blow a muzzle loader up or anything.
Well, let's put it like this. I take stick-on wheel weights as pure lead for when I'm doing bore. When I'm
Chamber
checking,
cast.
yeah. Well, I don't do a chamber cast because I mean, good grief, that's a pain. But yeah, when I'm checking my muzzle diameter, that's what I use. I actually, what I'll do is this is such a silly method and it doesn't work all that great, so you have to run a lot of them. But I'll cast my bullets with that pure lead. Then I'll take it over to my anvil and I'll bang on it to swell it up, and then I'll drive it through. Works pretty good. A little bit of lube, not much, just like real light, like coating in the bore, and I don't have any problems. The old man's got some chamber cast metal. That stuff's amazing. You can melt it with like boiled water. It's great.
Yeah. What I started using for doing that is those weights that you get for plastic worms, fishing weights.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of torpedo shaped.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've started using for that, and that they're already in that shape, that conical shape. So you stick them nose down in the barrel, put a little lube on there, and then just beat them through your bore and measure them when they come out. So
Absolutely, I'm sure that works better than going through the process of trying to swedge them down and knowing that ain't even.
Okay, Nathan, it's already after 9 o'clock, and we've had as many as 47. So you may want to run through the chat room again.
Yeah, I can do that. Well, we got Fuzzy Fork 8 in the house. As always, I appreciate you coming out, Fuzz. You keep things interesting in the side chat, and I do appreciate it. Crazy Scotsman, of course. I appreciate everything that you do, man. Thanks for coming out. Armament Axes. Glad to see you. Ocean 374, Daryl Guyton, Eagle Eye Shooting, Vanessa Kitty. Daniel, God is my judge. Glad you can make it, brother. Ozark Spirit, Uncle Jim, the big man outdoors. Michael Signs, Tin Man. Glad to see you, man. Hope things are going all right. 76 High Boy reloading. Glad to see you, High Boy. Glad you can make it. And Loaded Cap Guns in here somewhere, or was. I don't know if she's still here or not. MCK, glad to see you, man. Glad to see you. V-Borg in the house. I think there's a way to do this. It's better. I've got to find somebody that knows what they're doing. Pony 47. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before, man. Man or woman, I don't know. Pipe up sometime. We'll talk. We'll ask some questions or something. Kingpin, brother, glad to see you. If you don't know how to go into the Reloaders Network, I think I got some in the description. I think there's some instructions on how to do that, and there's like a video for how to do it. And then from there, you can get into Slack, and you can ask us all more specific questions and get more live type answers. if you're so interested. '67 Rebel SST AMC. Glad to see you. All right, guys. I think that's about all I'm seeing here right now. But everybody, I appreciate everybody coming out. It's always surprising that when we get people that want to come in and see what we got to talk about this week. It's always a little bit slow on the first week back from our week off for the Reloaders Network chat. So, which is always, it's funny because nowadays, because Uncle Jim is running his cat chat on Friday nights when the Reloaders Network, I kind of like the break because I get to go on Uncle Jim's chat and I can just, sit back and kind of enjoy it. Because normally I can't get on a Saturday night chat. So, anyway, I'm babbling, guys. I really appreciate everybody coming out. If you got any questions, hit us up in the chat here so that we can try to get up with it.
Jamie,
cool.
Visuals of what you were just talking about. There's your fishing sinker. There's your barrel slug. It's got the rifling and everything in it. So I think that's what you were talking about.
No, it's an egg sinker. I'll get some and show you. But Oceans 374 said the same thing. He uses egg sinkers too.
It works great. Put a little bit of that Lee not for public sale lube on there. Just go
Right.
Yeah, man, that stuff is just awesome. I'm gonna have to get more of it.
Yeah, I gotta get that stuff. That's amazing. I mean, it really is. The PC Bullet Empire finally showed up.
Well,
Tim's got a new he's got a new emblem too, our new channel logo. I like it.
Now, does this mean you're not powder coating anymore, Tim?
He is now the politically correct Bullet Empire.
Not after that live chat he did the other night. He's not.
No doubt. Where is Willie? Somebody text Willie. He's got to be in some trouble somewhere.
I haven't seen him in a couple days.
I talked to Willie last night.
Last man here takes out the trash. Nice.
Gotta go.
Yeah, absolutely. I was glad to see you, Tim. I mean, we've been talking a little bit about casting and our procedures and any tips that we may have, which probably drop in the bucket in the large scheme of things. But it's interesting, man, because now that we're in the new world of powder coating, it's funny how it's like things have gotten so much easier. Because talking about tips, I mean, I could spend hours just talking about bullet sizing before. And now I don't even worry about it nearly as much. That's the one thing. Here's the thing. Here's a tip for the new bullet casters. If you decide to powder coat or whatever, it doesn't matter, but especially powder coat, and you use a Lee push-through sizer, and you go, okay, I need a .356 Lee push-through sizer or a push-through sizer, and you go get your .356 and you size your bullets and you load them. That bullet is not .356. Guaranteed. Check your bullets after you size them to find out what your sizer's actually doing. You can get lucky and they get close, but most of the time, I mean, whether it's NOE or it's Lee, I find that usually they're a little small, which is good because I can just do like Uncle Jim did in his video and just kind of roll it with some emery paper, open it back up, smooth it up a little bit, and it works just fine. So after you size your bullets, check them to make sure that they're the right size. They'll just assume that they are because that's what the I got a mic up. Somebody talk. Who was that? Kyle?
These are 359s, and they're powder coated and ran through a 356 Lee sizer.
And there you go, sports fans.
Yeah.
Like Jim would say, society.
These are the ones I'm using for said such purpose. The little worm lead. And these are kind of but see the base on them. You stick your wooden dowel right in there, and it's
That's cool. The if you use a traditional lubricizer, those sizing dies are a little bit more on point. I've never had that issue where they were oversizing unless or under. They would oversize sometimes depending on how cold it is. I know that's really gnats, but it's true. Like if it was really cold in the shop, your bullets would be a little undersized. So
And actually,
that's,
Tim had a very interesting video on that exact thing, because he was taking it was not sandpaper, maybe it was sandpaper, but I think he was using like some compound and stuff, and actually reaming them out, getting them smooth with different grits of emery cloth or something like that with little compound on it, cleaning them out, running some bullets through there, checking them. Nope, need to go a little more. He was actually reaming out his Lee sizing dies to get the diameter that he wanted. That's pretty good video there.
yeah, Toolness did that. Uncle Jim's done it. I haven't seen Toolness in forever. How's his back? Has anybody talked to him?
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna have to look that up because I haven't seen him in my feed. So I was liking some of the stuff he was doing. I know he had a back issue going on.
Who's
I also haven't seen Toolness 1. I don't know if you remember him, but I haven't seen Sean a lot around lately either. Anyway, yeah. Anybody else got any tips, ideas? Something
No glove, no love.
No glove.
well,
Yeah. What?
Where the hell did that come from?
I was just saying, if I'm touching lead, no glove, no love. But no, I definitely agree with that. With the safety, you wanna at least protect yourself as best as you can. Some people probably not gonna agree with me, but then some are. So use your own judgment.
It's all common sense,
Right.
I'm not saying boil your lead, stand in front of it, and brush your teeth. No, I mean, come on, guys. If you don't,
but Kyle, you got to remember, man. I like okay. Let's say right now we've got 20 people active in the side chat around there. That means we got 20 some people that are on this live chat. I don't know who they are. So when you're talking about common sense, if I'm dealing with a 17-year-old kid that might be watching this that's interested in bullet casting, I don't know that he has that level of involvement. So
if you don't like the smell, don't breathe it.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, man, the one that worries me is smelting. I don't worry about casting nearly as much as I do smelting.
I understand what you're saying, but you can ask Chico, what did we have in my pot when we were smelting at my house?
Oh man, no, I'm with you, man. I know it stinks. It stinks like
No. The key word there was that he hadn't answered yet was thermometer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you're gonna, I would recommend that. Like, look, if you're going to smelt lead, run a thermometer in it because you just don't have the temperature control with those turkey fryers to really be able to know, hey, if I set it here, then it's good.
Right. Well, I was doing it for the zinc, but in the same thing, it actually doubles its purpose. Yes, the zinc won't melt, and we did find one zinc wheel weight. But
that sounds like a tip, Kyle.
One more time.
That sounds like a tip, Kyle. What temperature are you running so you can catch your zinc?
800 degrees max.
Mm-hmm.
Lead will melt a lot less than that. The zinc will melt a lot more than that. Run it at 800 degrees. If it ain't melted, get it out of that pot.
Yeah.
Which also prevents you from overheating the melt to make it where the lead can gas off. And you can ask Chico or Scotsman or anybody. I was constantly playing with the valve and all that. Depending on the level of the lead in the pot, as it gets lower, you're going to have to turn the heat down because you don't need that much heat. It's just paying attention to what you're doing. And you really need to pay attention a lot because, like Fortune Cookie says, everything is hot all the time. Don't just think you can reach down there and grab something because you can't. Like you drop a bullet on the ground, it didn't go in the bucket. Don't reach down there and grab that. I guarantee you'll only do it once.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah, they're lowering your max temperature in the side chat, Kyle.
Yeah.
I thought I had read that zinc melts at like 780 degrees.
Yeah, 87.
All right.
Sorry.
And lead melts at about 680 degrees. I think.
Yeah, that. There you go, 680. That sounds right.
Yeah, lead melts about 680. We were trying to keep it around 750, right, Chico?
I even think we had a little bit lower than that, due to the gas, and because like I said, well, just like even they're saying in the side chat, 800 will melt zinc. I just looked it up to verify. 787.2 will melt zinc. So but yeah, we definitely kept it. I think it was 725 ish.
We were keeping it low. We were keeping a good time.
Yeah. But I got a tip for you guys who talking about the thermometer. When I was in the market for a lead thermometer, when I looked at the prices of them lead thermometers, I was like, how much lead I can buy with that lead? The price of that lead thermometer? Ridiculous, in my opinion. It was like $50-$60. Am I right for the Lyman thermometer? And you can find one. The people who make that lead thermometer, but they make it for a different product, like a grill or something. And that's what I bought, $20.
Yep.
So that's a little tip if you guys are gonna get into casting, or if you need another thermometer. But I was like $50 for a thermometer. Good Lord, that's a lot of money. So
Wow, that's a lot of money. Brody says to get a PID. Yeah, PIDs are great for your pots, but when you're smelting, you're using a depending on how you're smelt, which just came in like she owned the place. If you're using like a turkey fryer, PID is going to be real hard to get it to regulate your gas flow. I haven't tried a digital, and I have not tried one of those laser ones either.
The laser ones do not work. It's the reflection of the surface of the lead will not give you a good reading, period.
That's what I was afraid of. I thought maybe it would work off the edge of the pot on the inside, but I then it would just be a reference point. It wouldn't tell me the actual temperature of the lead.
Right. We were playing with mine that night, and it was saying like 208 degrees.
Yeah. Are y'all? I'm gonna show you. Are y'all talking about these?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. That kind of puts you in the area. But most people use these. Like I use these at the job if I want to. Don't test the tailpipe because it's this hot, it'll burn you. But yeah, these are gonna give you. It's not gonna. Yeah, it's something weird with the reflection. They're cool to have, but nah, they're not gonna give you an accurate reading like something that's stuck inside of it. So.
Well, I'll tell you what I use, and I was like Chico. I was looking at lead thermometers and was pretty much shocked. And I realized that I have a digital multimeter with a thermometer attachment.
A thermocouple?
Yeah, and I stuck it in there. And, of course, I have no way of knowing how accurate it is, but a lot of times you can buy a digital multimeter for $30 to $40 that has those that come with them at no extra charge. And there you go, man. That's an easy fix. And you want to use it for multiple things anyway.
Just when you use that lead thermometer, if anybody doesn't know, never use it to like be checking your turkey on Thanksgiving after you've had it in the lead. And I'm saying that like I'm not being funny because sometimes, like you said, the common sense goes out the door sometimes. So yeah, when it's anything's introduced to lead, that's the only thing it's for. So don't use it for anything you're gonna cook or eat with. And I shouldn't have to say that, but I guess sometimes we do have to say that.
Armament Axis brings up a real solid point here. Let's talk about antimony. Antimony's melting temperature is much higher. Now, here's the thing. I'm not a metallurgist at all. One of the reasons why we flux is because the flux allows for, the flux creates a carbon which promotes the antimony to reamalgamate with the lead and melt basically at the same temperature as the lead. It keeps the antimony in the mix and keeps it in a liquid state. Even though if you just had a hunk of antimony, it's just not going to melt at that temperature. But if it's amalgamated with the lead, it acts differently. I don't know enough of the science behind that. But that's one of the reasons why you want to make sure, even when you're smelting, that you're fluxing really good, is to keep the tin and the antimony in with the lead. It's like a cricket. Always do condenser with my hands. I don't think you have to run it any hotter than normal. I haven't found that to be true. I keep my pot where I keep it, and I haven't had any issue. And I use clip-on wheel weights, which has a fair amount of antimony in it. Other people might have different results. I haven't had to run mine very hot to get it to work well, and for the antimony to stay in the mix.
Armament and Axes, no, it's not his chair. It's Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah.
Y'all picking on me again?
I don't know about picking, but certainly identify him.
He's a picking, and I'm a grinning.
And I'm a grinning. Oh, man. Yeah,
Speaking
so
of which, I have got to get me a banjo.
yes, sir, you do. Just because you live up there, you have to have a banjo.
Easy,
Love
boy.
it, man. I think all the folks on the side chat will agree. I need to win the lottery so I can buy me some friends.
And living down here, I think I'm supposed to have an airboat.
Probably.
Or a sailboat with a keel on it.
Man, there's a guy in Georgia right now that's selling hunks of keel, and he for about $1 a pound. I saw
That's reasonable.
I saw on Facebook on the Facebooks, and I'm like, I wonder how many pounds of lead I can put in the saddlebags on the bike.
No. Hell, it'd be harder to cut it up where it fit than it'd be worth.
Yeah, well, it looks like he's using an electric chainsaw to cut it. And he had it in separate hunks. And like a hunk like this was like, it's hard to tell because, but I mean, what looked to be a relatively small hunk was like 1,000 pounds. I'm like,
Yeah.
That shit's so heavy.
Yeah, those kills are pretty. I seen a guy's video, and y'all probably seen it. He's on here somewhere. He had a kill. Well, he had a boat, and he was taking it out. And when he did electric chainsaw, and the chunk, he was like, "That's 600 pounds." I'm like, "No way!" And I seen him start trying to. He had to lift it with a bobcat, and I was just like, "Good Lord!" I mean, I'm seriously like, that's a lot of lead, and
the size of a dodgeball, and it's 600 pounds. You're like,
yeah, it's like, man, that's dang. How you melt that? I don't think my pot will hold that, but whatever. But on the casting, I looked at a few different manufacturers. You guys know you got Lyman, you got Arsenal, you got NOE, RCBS, Seiko. I 5, but I seen like maybe no more than 10 different companies that make molds, and it's probably more like seven-ish. And it was a company that the guy is on Slack. The guy passed away, and it wasn't recently. If you guys paid attention, I forget the name of the company. He passed away in 2000, but the family or something put there. It was like Charlie passed away or something, and so they only selling whatever they had. Like they would no longer be making the molds or whatever it was. But it seems not like a lot of companies are making getting into that production type deal besides the big companies. I like to see some other companies doing some stuff because I think it's a market for it.
Well, you got Accurate, Arsenal, NOE, NEI, and I think it's NEI that is
NEI
no longer making new molds, and they've been at it for a long, long time. But those were like the principal, or have been lately anyway. But there's other ones out there. that are doing custom molds and stuff like that. There's a bunch of them out there. NEI made some really fine molds. Man, I like NOE. Brody says that NOE is the only molds for him or NEI. Just make amazing. Yeah, there's only one mold manufacturer that's NOE. I don't know, man. Like, I haven't bought an accurate mold. I don't own one, but I always look at them because I'm like, oh, I really want that mold, and then I end up for whatever reason getting something close to it that Al has. And I think it's because Al supported back when we were all on Cast Bullet Forum. Al was always he still is such a supporter of what we're doing. It's kind of hard for me to go anywhere else. I know some guys get Arsenal molds, and it's fine. Get whatever you feel is best for your application. It's just I try to stick with Al as well, as much as I can. Have a good night, Armament Axes. Appreciate it.
And if you're shooting a lot of volume, you're going to want to go, like Uncle Jim just posted, you're going to want to go with a Lee 6-cavity mold. They're relatively inexpensive. You can bank out a lot of volume and, bang for the buck. There you go.
Ain't lying.
Of course. There's better molds no matter if you're the best mold out there. There's some handcraftsman in a Tibetan monk monastery on top of Mount Everest that's handcrafting a bullet mold that's going to be better than what you've got. But
if one of these 40 people that are viewing is relatively new to casting and gets on eBay and goes and buys a Lee mold and it turns out to be 10 years old, ignore it. New Lee molds are so much better made than their older molds are, whether it's the 6-cavity or the 2-cavity. It is completely different. To me, Lee molds are a much higher quality mold than they ever used to be.
They've had to step the game up, yeah.
And
yeah, I agree.
I have no problem buying a Lee mold if they have the design and the weight that I want. The most recent mold that I bought was for Cap Guns 9mm, and it's a Lee 6-cavity, and it throws like a scalded dog. Every bullet I throw out of it's good. I almost don't even need to call them. It's amazing. So if you're talking about what makes a good mold, to me, a good mold doesn't wear out in 3 settings, and it throws good bullets, and the Lee molds do that. So, Mig leaving? I haven't even. Hi, bye. Okay, fair enough.
Right.
I hadn't even seen him. Hell.
What?
Yeah, I'll tell everybody. When I first bought my first mold, it was a Lee 2-cavity mold. I bought one Lee 2-cavity and one Lee 6-cavity. And being that I started finding, well, let's not say find. The lead is available near me. Let's say it's everywhere, right? You still got to search for it and stuff. But I was like, I want to be casting stuff, a lot of it, And the 2-cavity, people was like, man, you should have got a 6-cavity. I was like, well, I got one 6-cavity and one 2-cavity, just 2 different 9mm designs, truncated cone and round nose. And I sent it back to the guy on eBay. He was cool with it. He was like, okay. And I bought the 6-cavity, and I like it. It knocks it out. The 9mm bullets, for the money, like you said, you can't beat it. And that was my first mold ever buying 6-cavity Lee. And I appreciated it a lot when I bought this 2-cavity because I was like, man, it's taking a long time to make some bullets with 2 cavities. And this is the 6-cavity, the one that I haven't even used yet. But I mean, for the price, what is it? It's like $40, something like that. You can get like $50 brand new. But as long as you follow the steps and the recommendations, heat treating them or heat soaking them, and cleaning them and doing all that, and just take your time, you should be fine.
Without the handles, that is.
Yes, that's the 6-cavity mold does not come with handles.
But
that's the only difference.
If you buy your mold from NOE, NEI, Accurate, Arsenal, none of them are going to have mold handles either. So
correct.
If you're wanting something that's got more than 2 holes in it, you're going to need to buy handles, and you buy one set and you're good.
Okay, just come one time real quick. Just come on.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Go ahead.
Hey, Carter.
Say hello. Okay.
Buddy.
See you. Go on. You're not getting an iPad. Go on. No iPad. Go ahead on. Yeah, go watch TV. You're lucky I'm letting you watch TV. Come on. He had a rough day.
Hey, Carter.
But yeah, but you know, for the lead modes, the handle's not that bad in price.
$20, I think.
Right. Now these other modes, when I bought this one, this was a used mode, this RCBS mode, and I had to text Nathan. I said, look, man, this guy got this mode online. It got handles on it. Or actually, the one I looked at first, it didn't have handles. It was just a mode for like $60. And I found this one with handles for like $60. So I was like, that's a deal. Got to scoop it up.
Yeah, I got a set of Lyman handles for my Lyman and RCBS molds.
The handles for these RCBS, when I looked it up from their site, it was like $38. I said, oh no, I can't do it. So I can't do it.
Somebody brought up
these Lee 6-cavity handles. You put them on a 2-cavity mold, and you feel like you're inserting it from here.
Yeah.
They just feel weird.
Brody 556 brought up the Lyman molds versus Ideal. I personally have a belief about that, and I agree. The newer Lyman molds, unless you know what you're getting into, the new Lyman roll, like for instance, you get a 32 mag bullet, and it'll say 313 on it, which is 1,000 too small. I powder coat, so I don't care anymore. But back when I was regular, like traditional lubing, it was a problem because it was like every Lyman mold that I ran across was 1,000 too small, to fit cylinder size. The old Ideal molds weren't like that, and even the old Lyman molds weren't like that. They just took to doing that. And Lyman, there's a whole like hullabaloo history going way back between Lyman and Elmer Keith, where Lyman screwed up Elmer Keith's bullet design, and he was mad about it forever. So, but the old Ideal ones were good. So, yeah, that's I'm with you. If you can find an old Ideal mold, that would be cool. That would be ideal.
Now you said the older Elmer Keith or the older molds were good, correct?
Yeah, there's a design difference between let's say the 1961 version of Elmer Keith's semi-wad cutter design, and then what Lyman eventually did with it. And what they did is it was a weird thing where basically I think I'm trying to remember exactly what they did, but they narrowed up the lube groove.
Right. Okay. I kind of remember reading something.
Yeah,
like that.
he was all mad about it and talked bad about that company for 100 years after that. But Lyman feel funny. You know what I don't like about the Lyman handles? And I say that I cast with a glove on usually. But if you don't cast with a glove on, the Lyman handles have rivets that run right through the handles, and they will burn the piss out of you.
This mode that I got, this RCBS that's supposed to be an Elmer Keith style bullet, because if y'all can see the number on it, it's got that KT behind it, Keith type. But there's a identical, sort of identical, but it's made by, is it HB? No, I can't even think of it. 68 something. This mode is made by something. I can't find the company no more. This is an RCBS, but anytime if you look on any forum and talk about this mode, they'll talk about this design was copied off of that HB 68 or 58, something like that. I forget. I don't know what company it is. H&G. Brody said it. Yeah.
H&G. I was like, I'm thinking M&P. What do you?
My bad. I know it was an H somewhere now.
MP molds is another one that's out there. Yeah, H&G molds. That's
now. Is H&G still available? Do they still have molds for sale?
Actually, I think H&G still makes molds.
I'm gonna have to check them out.
I don't know. Let me look. See real quick to see if they got a website anyway.
Yeah, it's a H&G. This RCBS one right here it's a copy of the H&G 68, almost identical copy. I think it's off by like a couple thousand, one of the lube bands or something like that. But I looked at it a lot before I before I purchased that mold.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Dad has one. I don't, but mold maintenance. I don't know. This might not be. Yeah, I don't think this is it. I don't know. Anybody else got any other interesting casting tips or ideas?
Well, I seen a question out there that probably it got answered, but I didn't know if anybody, and even Kyle answered it. He was talking about what else can we make bullets out of besides lead, and some people probably won't get happy about that, but the zinc is they're already making zinc bullets. Some companies are already selling them. Some companies are already selling ammo that's already loaded with zinc. I seen some the other day, and I was like, oh no, I don't want that. So, I'm holding on to mine. When I separate my lead and my zinc, I'm just holding on to the zinc.
Yeah, technically, I mean, I guess you could cast bronze too. I wouldn't do it, but
Kind of expensive, wasn't it?
yeah. I mean, I know there's some guys that do zinc. That's cool. It's not my thing. I mean, I don't know. I'm not that bored yet.
Yeah,
Yeah, meaning.
Kenny and Willie have played a lot around with zinc, but from what I've understood, it has to be a steel mold because it'll just wear your aluminum out.
Yeah, it's just so damn hot.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's just ridiculously hot. And my problem actually with it isn't the casting process; it's how light the bullet is.
Yep, I said something about that too. Bullet weight's going to be way off.
Yeah, and there's certain things that let's say you were to you cast a bullet that would normally be 180 grain bullet, like a rifle bullet, and you cast that in zinc. I don't know what that would come into, 100 grains, 110, something like that.
I don't know, but I've not seen any loading data for a 14 grain 5.56.
Yeah, so it's 40% lighter, right? So 110, 115 grain, 120 probably, yeah, 120 grains. So if you were to look up load data for a 120 grain bullet, but it has the same shape as that 180, and it's going to take a certain amount of force to push that thing through the bore. It's going to take it actually more force than it would lead. So it's not going to move as fast because it still has all that bearing surface. It's just it throws my load data all to pieces. And because of that, I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I'm just not that bored. If I lived in California and I had no choice, it'd be a whole other story.
Yeah, I've still got plenty of lead, so not studying that.
Let's see.
Andy apparently plays with a
Well,
lot.
my problem with Andy, what I'm saying is, like, just because you can change the weight of the bullet, it's still operating under the assumption that it's lead. So the bearing surface, all that stuff is being reduced as well. Even if you keep your if you change the bullet weight and keep your case capacity the exact same, the dynamics of that bullet are changing because the bullet's the size of a regular 180 grain bullet. That's all I'm saying. There's some more mysticism about that than just changing your load data to reflect that lower weight. That's all.
So 67 Rebel SST AMC asked what's a good BH for hollow points, and for hollow point bullets you're going to have a softer alloy, or it'll tend to where the hollow point is at the tip, it tends to, and Kyle and I seen it, it's like it doesn't stay solid. I wished I could think of a word, but you're going to have to keep it a softer alloy for hollow point bullets. Uncle Jim also said the same thing, but yeah, for hollow points, Kyle, what's the word I'm looking for? It just cracked, and
yeah, you're gonna fragment if you don't have a mix that has enough of a tin content to keep it malleable.
And on Loads of Bacon's test that he did, all those hollow points he did, which was groundbreaking work in my opinion.
Yeah, they just fragment and go everywhere. They don't stay together and blossom, so to speak.
Blossom, well done.
Yeah. Uncle Jim says brittle. Yeah, that could work.
Yeah, they just. I mean, I messed around with that, and they fragment because that's what they're going to do. They actually start to expand, and then they just bust because they don't have the malleability to be able to stay together. Unless they have that tin in them. The tin really helps with that, and it softens up the lead, which isn't really the. I guess the point of it is just that it makes it more malleable.
Mhm.
A number 2 alloy, I think, would do probably pretty good.
Yeah,
Possible.
Ozark said wheel weights are way too hard for hollow points.
Yeah, even air-cooled wheel weights are too hard, and if you take air-cooled wheel weights and add a little bit of straight lead to them, still not right. You've got to tin it. And I didn't when I did my hollow point tests, and I did not. I had plenty of wound channel, so I wasn't too worried about it. But yeah, not quite. Our little Blossom buddy. So Kyle, you watching Blossom when nobody's around? Is that show even still on?
Uncle Jim's on you now, Kyle.
Well, he'll get his payback tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's blossoming.
I'm
Venus is becoming a man, sir.
It's my fault, guys. I was looking for a word, so
I gave him one, but apparently just never mind. I'm just going to shut up.
but what I'm talking about is not so much when you shoot those hollow points. It's we had trouble getting them out of the mold, didn't we, Kyle? From it not being malleable enough to stay together.
Well, what I found on that, we touched on that earlier, is you have to wait longer for them to cool down. They were casting great. I was dumping them too quick because I was in a normal rhythm. You just have to wait a little bit longer. And good night, Ocean. Thank you for stopping by, brother. I was in my normal rhythm, but you have to wait because those steel pins cool off different than the aluminum housing.
Mhm.
And if you sit there for a little bit, you, like I said, you pour a set, run 2 of these, those are ready to drop, and it'll actually keep your temperature where you need it.
Yeah, you'll split the nose if you're running it too fast. Like it'll just tear the nose open a little bit.
No,
That's
not
what we were seeing.
a
That's
lot.
what we were seeing. I just got a notification that Daniel got as my judge put out another video, so we'll have to go over and check that out when we get done.
Cool. We're 9:48, so before we actually start giving our goodbyes and stuff, I wanted to reach out to the 37 people that are here. If you have not gone to Uncle Jim's channel and watched his latest adventure looking for a primate relative of ours, you really, really, really need to take a look at that. That is a great bit of cinematography. And thank you, Uncle Jim. I appreciate it, man. That was really, really well done, and I enjoyed it. Who else we need to talk about? Bigger behind the trigger. If you're, I doubt you're still here, brother, but I hope you're feeling better. Big Al, get better. Keep us up to date, man. I hope you're doing all right. And no, Nathan, no, man. I'm telling you, we need to get more people over to Uncle Jim's channel. This stuff's too funny, too good. And the educational videos are awesome. You know, you start one, right? Like, hello, this is Uncle Jim, and now you're in for the educational video. And it reminds me of those shop videos I had to watch when I was a teenager in shop class. You know, the guy shows up, he's got that mustache that's like this thick. You know, he's talking through it, telling me about how these cylinder heads are put together. It's great stuff.
And every time he talks, it flops out.
Yeah, it flops out. Yeah.
Like the cartoon dude.
Dude, there's such a There's a great one of those about how to build an automatic transmission. It's the great stuff. But that's what it reminds me of every time Uncle Jim's going to give one of his educational videos. I love them. They're good.
Sorry, Uncle Jim, you put it out there. We're going to send people to watch it, buddy.
Frog, you went cold and he did ride. Crambo.
Yeah, that was pretty cool video.
Way down yonder by the eucalyptus tree.
Yeah. Dude, that dude in Cannonball Run kills me. He actually has to sing to talk. Vanessa says she wasn't in shop class, but she had wood shop. I had the best wood shop teacher ever because he was the epitome of wood shop teachers. He, of course, had his completely silver mane done up in perfect pomade. He was about 4'8". He was about as wide as a dump truck, just nothing but muscle, had a big bulldog tattoo on his forearm, and his name was Rick. I mean, he was the wood shop teacher.
Let me tell you about my wood shop teacher. I had two when I was in high school. The first one was his name. Well, I shouldn't tell you his name. His thermos smelled like vodka. Okay, and so my junior year, the summer between my sophomore and junior year, he retired. So then we had a new shop teacher. And her name was, I can't remember her name. I want to say Ms. Raines. I shouldn't call names on that one either. But she was, like you said, 4 foot tall and a brick house, buddy. I mean, what she didn't have wasn't necessary. That was one fine looking young lady. And she wasn't a whole lot older than me at the time. And I had an independent study. And I was in there with her by ourselves for at least an hour a day, every day. And for her first day, she comes in and says, Jamie, I need you to teach me how all these machines work. And I'm like, wait a minute, You're the teacher. So, can you imagine me teaching a shop teacher how to use a table saw or a planer?
That's nice.
Yeah. I've been like
and
this.
At that point, I was 17 years old, highly distractible.
Yes, sir.
So, then I met her husband, and I wasn't very impressed, but she was a real sweet lady and a real fine-looking young lady, too, and I think about her sometimes when people bring up woodshop teachers. But, my misspent youth, guys.
Enough of the sands through the hourglass. These are the days of our life.
Yeah. Yep. But hey, obviously, like I'm sure I haven't seen Curtis on here, but it'll do you guys didn't get to know. I only took like a semester or two of wood shop. I took like every semester of like every shop class possible, as far as auto mechanics and that side of it, and it shows because I'm no good at woodwork. But guys, we go around the horn, start doing our goodbyes and our appreciates and our what we got coming up. We got
a
couple minutes here.
Sure, guys. Thanks for being here, everyone in the side chat. It's been off the chain. And I need to get to the range. So I got some load testing I need to do. I need to get to the range. And most of you guys are familiar with Slack. And y'all know I post deals on YouTube, but I posted one today on Slack that is probably a lot easier for you guys to see. So just go over to Slack. It's like pound deal alerts. And if you guys familiar with these Olites, I posted the deal alert. It's a new product they got coming out. I'm not getting no kickbacks. I'm just trying to alert everybody like I do. So it's over there. Thanks for having me, guys. As always, thanks for being here. Side chat.
Guys, I really appreciate everybody showing up. Once again, another awesome Friday night. Get to hang out with my friends. You know, you can't put a price tag or an importance on that. So it was awesome for everybody being here. We've had a good time. Hopefully somebody learns something. We've all made fools out of ourselves, but hey, that's what we do. And apparently we enjoy it because we keep coming back. I want to thank everybody for being here and stay tuned. I'm going to be out of pocket next week. I'm going to be in an area with absolutely no internet reception, but I will try. I've got one of them little hockey puck internet deals. See if that'll work. I'm not sure that it will because nothing else does, but it should be interesting. Thanks for having me on, guys, and I appreciate being here. Thank you.
Okay. I'm behind. I've got to get to the range. I've got 2 35 Remington test loads ready to go. I've got an idea for a brass trimmer video. I've got so many ideas, but not enough time to get them done and uploaded and edited and all that. So, again, we had 47 on at one time. Guys, we can't tell you how much we appreciate all y'all coming by and spending your Friday evening. And I know that there's a lot of political stuff going on right now, and that's a deep well we could get into, but we tend not to get into that here. There's plenty of channels out there that's talking about the political side of the A2 and all that. And trust me, we support the A2. We will fiercely defend our Second Amendment rights, but we don't generally want to talk about it on Friday nights. We're detoxing from the busy work week here on Friday nights, and we hope that's one of the reasons you guys come in and join us. So, and I'm also going to be doing a load of 35 Remington with Buffalo rifle from Shooter's World. And for you guys who haven't tried any Shooter's World powders, if you can find one that fits the niche of what you're loading, you're going to save some money, and I think you'll be impressed with the performance. Other than that, I'm good.
All right. Well, it appears as though the loaded cap gun and I are going to go shooting tomorrow, which is good. That means I'm going to take the 32 mag out and do some accuracy testing. It is not going to get chronograph tested. I just don't. It's too much of a hassle for what I'm doing and how many different loads I'm trying and all that other stuff. I just don't have the time. So I'm do accuracy testing with that. You look at a video from that. I'll be doing the Reloaders Network weekly recap will be coming up, of course, on Sunday. Outside of that, guys, I don't know. We'll see. I've got something coming in the mail, and when it gets here, maybe we end up doing something with that. I don't know. We'll see what all shows up. And like everybody else, I appreciate everybody coming out. It's always great to see you guys. Always great to talk to everyone.
I do need to say one more thing, Nathan. Let's remind everybody about Uncle Jim's Hat Chat tomorrow night, and check out Foreign and Domestic on the Crazy Scotsman channel on Sunday nights. So we got your weekend filled with live chats and live streams. So hope to see everybody over on those 2 events this weekend as well.
Absolutely. Uncle Jim's channels are, there's Uncle Jim's chats are always great, and Crazy Scotsman's doing the.
Alexa's talking.
I know, right? Absolutely. Way to go, Wiretap. Yeah, Crazy Scotsman's doing the foreign domestic for a long time, and it's a great chat. So, guys, I really do appreciate it. Uncle Jim, go check out his channel, not just for his Tat Chat that's going to be coming up tomorrow night, but also for his terrific videos, the educational ones and the fun ones. They're great to watch. A little prayer for his cat as it's going through its kind of rebalancing of its life. But guys, I appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening and a good weekend if I don't see you on another chat or something. But we'll talk to you later and have a good one. Thanks.
Night, everyone.
Night, guys.
Good night.
Wait a minute. What the hell did I just do?